Hey y'all, what's up? This is Rom back at you with another couch video. A key point in the select non-select paradigm. And you know what? A lot of people talking about it and putting their own spins on it. And quite frankly, if you're going to take a concept that I introduced to this space, please get it right. Now, I saw a comment where someone said someone was select because they had a woman. No. Not at all. Having a woman, you can still get a woman, and you can still be non-select and get a woman. But with the whole select non-select paradigm, it ain't a simple case of the select men get women and the non-select don't. And I'm gonna get into that for a second. But first, I want to get into, if you're going to talk, anybody going to talk about it, want to know about it, y'all need to hit me up. Now, check it out. I first introduced the concept of select, non-select to this space, right? But I was like talking about that in my book, Nice Guys and Players, before YouTube came around. Now, check it out, right? Check it out. See this right here? See this right here? Look at the information, right? Look at the information. Look at the copyright date, right? Look at the copyright date on here. And for those who, for whatever reason need something else, look up the ISBN number. Look up the Library of Congress number on here, okay? All right? This is when I first talked about in 2000. Now, I learned of the concept. Now, I say that publicly. I didn't create that terminology. I was first introduced to that specific terminology by my mentor, who have I mentioned a lot on here, Master Yao and Yamache Morris. And I first read about the select, non-select group in his landmark book. See how tore up this book is? A Mummerer, The Natural Blueprint for Sexual Relationships. I want y'all to look at the copyright date. The copyright date. Look at it again. This is a signed copy. Look at the copyright date. Look at the Library of Congress number. All of that. All right? 1997. So this goes back a while. This is going back a while. And in fact, me even using that came with his express permission. I even mentioned Master Yao's name in my book, and he actually verbatim told me how to put his name in there. So it's like a lot of people talking and understand something. I've done research on this. I actually got the documents for where I've done research studies. In fact, recently I did a player questionnaire. A lot of people filled that out. And I've done other stuff, set in seminars, interview people. I got boxes of notes. Going back to the 90s on all of this. So I know about it, right? Now, to that key point, like I said, I saw a comment and somebody was like, well, that dude selects since he got a woman, right? And, you get some guys, they think it's like black and white. It's not. It's about 1,001 nuances to it. Because you can get a man, he can be mostly select to a group of women, like saying 100 women, he can be mostly select to 70 of them. He can be select to 70 of them, but the other 30 eh. And just to be clear, a non-select guy, he might be non-select to all of them. He's not, a non-select guy isn't automatically select to the other 30. It don't work that way. In fact, he could be select to maybe 5 of the same women, 5 of that 70 that found him that way. Because that's the whole thing. And I've said that. It's a lot of nuances. A guy could be, every man is select to somebody. It's just a number. And when I talk about it in general, it means if the guy is mostly select. But then there's still nuances to it, right? There's still nuances, right? Oh, let me finish that other point first. You can get a guy jacked up and there might be one woman in the world that finds him attractive. He's select to her. The other 99 are like, ugh. So it's more of a general thing anyway. Let's be clear on that. Let's be 100% clear on that. But the point I wanted, the key point in it is, if you talk about men who are generally non-select, all of them ain't without a woman. In fact, a significant amount of them do have a woman. A significant amount of them manage to father a kid. That's not a paternity fraud case. You know, they got a wife and everything. A key point in the whole paradigm is how the woman treats the man. Let me say that again. The key point is how the woman treats the man. Now, if a woman gets in a relationship with a man and she is submissive to his mission, she treats him with respect. When she goes to bed at night, she's giving him the full works. She's giving him the full work sexually. The full work. She going to bed with those Victoria's Secrets thongs on, or you know, there's those stockings and stuff that the butt is cut out of. And I mean, she looking good, doing everything, and then next morning she making some French toast. Shout out C Boogie. Basically, and when she's walking down the street, she's either walking slightly behind him to the inside of him, or she's definitely in a position where she's looking at him. In her body language with him, on most occasions, she's going to have her full frontal. When she's talking to him, she's going to be right there. Full frontal turn to him. Like any indication, you're going to see through the energy and everything, that's his woman. That's how she's going to treat him. Now, see, here's the thing. Guys who are generally select, generally select, and that's the thing to keep in mind. There's not a lot of them out there. At best, now people say 80-20, some people say 95-5. I'm a bit more generous. I'll say 30%. And that's going across races. See, that's another thing too. Have to address, like when we talk about that select, non-select thing, and this is a tangent, but this is very important to say. Too many dudes think it's just in the black community. That's stupid as shit. Because remember, I showed you the publication date on my book, 2000. Only in recent years did it start really selling in the black community. It was selling all over the world. So you had men all over the planet buying it. And I've actually done coaching sessions with men all over the planet. From the African continent, Australia. Had a coaching session from a dude in South America. We didn't even talk. He didn't speak English. We had to use email and translators. So this is universal. Because one of the things is women all over the planet, unless they in a strictly controlled Muslim culture, have those criteria. Is anywhere Western culture is present, or any culture Western similar is present. And I've had conversations even in Russia. Like the only places that might not follow this are strictly controlled Muslim cultures. And I'm still saying maybe. I'm just going on what a couple have told me. But this is a Western culture thing, so let me make that clear. But getting back to that key point is how the woman treats the man. Now, since there isn't enough select men to go around, who have that have either sex appeal or some level of sex appeal and money and status, and definitely like that whole charisma and masculinity and stuff. Women still want to mate because despite everything, you still have a situation where, because cultures say, hey, these women should be married, especially in a lot of other cultures, European, African, all over where Asian cultures, where they still have a pressure to get married. They'll still get married or still deal with the guy. But that don't mean the guy select to them. The guy is right there. But see, the issue is, and this is really the key point, how a woman treats that man. Now, I told you what they'll do with the select man. But with the non-select man, Oh, he ain't getting those thongs and Victoria's, those cut out like pantyhose and stuff. And she looking all sexy doing whatever. He might get 3 minutes or 5 minutes of some starfish sex once a month, because what's not talked about, there's plenty of sexless marriages out here. The woman just, once she got that baby, get that seed, all of a sudden don't want to have sex with that man anymore. He ain't getting him. She might cook for him. No, she might cook for herself and happen to have some food, but she ain't doing anything special for him. And like I said about the sex part, she going to sleep in some granny panties, got a hair cover, mask, everything. And she'll probably have a lot of headaches. And then that's just in the bedroom. You get a lot of women, if you watch them with their men, you could just see like in the body language, she only tolerating them. Now remember, I did a video about never walking behind a woman. I see that a lot. I see a lot of dudes, the woman like leading and he's just there. How does he select her? She's settling for him. She's settling. And then even when some guy can get in there, even when they deal with that guy, he got like one mistake. Like a truly select man, he can pretty much cheat on his woman. Tell her. In fact, she'll probably knowingly share him. That's how deep it is. She'll know he going out. She'll give him the condoms. It's like, just be cool. She knows she's sharing that man. If he cheat on her, she'll be like, she'll find some reason to forgive him. Or if a non-select man, he think he got that woman, she cheat on him, she kicking him to the curb. She kicking him out, kicking him to the curb, ready to divorce him, whatever. And it's quick. Like a select man got plenty of leeway with a woman. A non-select man, please. He make one slight mistake. He can make a slight mistake. Like a woman's level of tolerance is very low with a non-select man. And see, a lot of guys, one thing guys got to understand, you can't always go by what you see in public unless you are really good at reading body language. A lot of guys ain't. They just see it and think, oh yeah, he winning. And there's a lot of times guys do that. They'll see him and think, yeah, he all right, yeah, he doing it. I see him together. Okay, but then that same woman is cheating. Like if you want to get an idea about the realities of the select, non-select paradigm, and I've said this several times, do some internet searches on these infidelities sites like Reddits and everything else. Just put in infidelity forums. And women be talking about how they cheat. They'll talk about, hey, they got a dead bedroom. Or they'll talk about how they have an affair partner. Because what a lot of women do, they'll actually go as far as marry that non-select dude. Like she ain't feeling him, but she's settling. That's the best she can do. But then when she come across that select dude, she'll find a way to cheat with him. And that's very common. And especially you got a portion of select dudes who do have a little bit of money, steady and all of that. They still not select. They think they are. In fact, I just did some on Cousin T-Tall's book. He talks about, there's a part he talks about that. Like when they checking out a man. And it's just like, okay, he all right. Yeah, he all right. He can do all this for me. Because they looking at what they're doing. That's why a lot of guys, they get burned, because then when that woman, like if they marry that woman and she find like the least little excuse to divorce him, she'll get him in divorce court. A popular term for him might be beta male provider. What they say, alpha fucks beta bucks. Very, 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 very accurate. Like they still gonna get something. I mean, like I said, they ain't gonna get what the select man gets. They're not going to get the same thing. But they're going to get a little bit, but you gotta question it. Now, of course, there's some non-select dudes get very little. And sometimes they'll see that non-select guy that looks like they're getting something and think they select. That guy's select. No. It's a lot of little nuances. A big part is how the woman responds. Understand something about women. The one woman, she can respond to two different men, two different ways. With one, she cursing them out, looking down on them, talking trash about them. The other one, she's like, yes, sir. Of course, sir. Yes, sir. I'm getting on my knees now, sir. I got some French toast for you, sir. Shout out C Boogie again. And then the other guy, she's like, man, you better get me something. You know, and it's deep. It's deep. That's the nuance. That's the nuance. You know? And because recognizing that, a big part of it is recognizing where you at. And let me say something else real quick too. This is something else. And I've talked about this before. I've noticed I'm going to need to bring this. If you look at my books, Nice Guys and Players, it's all about how to get a man from non-select to select. It's not as hard as people think, but too many guys be thinking, oh, this is it. Or you know what? Some guys will get in because they've been generally non-select their entire lives. They'll get that woman who will give them a little bit. You know, it's like if you hungry, so everything tastes good to you. You know, so they get a little bit. They'll get that woman, they'll get that sex maybe 8 times a month and think they doing something. They'll think they doing something. And they'll think they're on top of the world. Yeah, she might be attractive or something. But like I always say, double back home one day. And they'll think they there until everything fall apart. The select is a totally different world. And that's and ultimately in my books, and I challenge anybody to tell me I'm wrong. But I'm telling you how to get there. And it's not as hard as people think. It really ain't. But you do got to do some work. That's always been my whole point. Like, don't embrace it. But but like I said, yeah, you can get somebody. You can get some unattractive woman. You can get a woman who been ran through by a bunch of select dudes when she was young, and she just settling for you. You know, after she lose her attractiveness and got extra weight on her. Yeah, you can do that. Or, you know, you can get that. Or you can get the best. And be the best. Not just get the best, be the best. So, you know, but that's a key point though to consider. You gotta look at that point. You gotta look at that point. A lot of non-select guys, they in relationships, they get a woman every now and then, but how are they being treated? And then also the quality of the woman they dealing with. So all those are factors. I mean, seriously, just that whole thing. There's so many little things. It's not just a black and white thing. There's so many little nooks, crannies, and whatever. And I can say this, like I said, I've actually I've known about this since like the late 90s. Written about it, had time to study it, formally interview people and everything. Several surveys and everything, formal research. And I have academic training in research. So anyway, that's all I got for now. I'll talk to y'all. Peace and blessings.